When I'm with him, I'm thinking of you. Those are lyrics from a Katy Perry song. Katy Perry song that's literally thinking of you. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Rosalie. I'm also known as Saviku on TikTok. You probably see me. People know me for my Everyone Makes Mistakes video where I'm talking about dancing in a Hatsune Miku cosplay. Today I'm here to rant. Yeah, I know, guys. I just love to talk. But when I'm with him, I'm thinking of you. What does that mean to me? To me, it reminds me of this situation that I'm in right now. Long story short, a ex-talking sage from middle school came back and told me that he's been in love with me for years. Well, maybe not in love, but he's liked me for the past few years since the day we met. This person has had 2 girlfriends since then, and whenever we did first meet, we were romantically involved with each other. Then suddenly, in the middle of it, boom, he got a girlfriend. And so it just really messed me up. I was like, what? When did you find the time to go do that when you were flirting with me? But yeah, that happened. And so it just really messed me up. And now I can't trust. Now, I've never really been able to trust, but that really solidified it for me. That happened. And even now, I don't know if he's still actively pursuing me. I really can't tell, but things he says to me are very lustful. The love that I'm receiving from him is very lustful, and it's not something that I've ever wanted. I don't want something temporary. So whenever that happens, I think back to the year before I met him. When I was in 6th grade, I met this really amazing person. Actually, I will name drop because I have mentioned him on my account multiple times. My friend Jax. When I'm receiving the kind of love I'm receiving now, the kind of lustful love I'm receiving from these kinds of people, I think of Jax. Not because Jax is like them, but because Jax was the complete opposite. Jax and I never dated. Jax was a very important figure in my life, but we were just friends. Like, we never dated. Like, just to clarify, we never dated, but he had a very big impact on my life in the sense that whenever I was struggling with my mental health to the point I could have lost my life, he was there to bring me back up. And I like to think that God knew, because I'm Catholic, I like to think that God knew that I needed him, and so he sent him down, or he sent him to me, because he knew that I needed him. He knew that I needed someone like him. And God worked through Jax to help me in that moment. And some notable things about Jax during our friendship whenever we were super close. It's not that we're not still friends. It's just that we're both very busy people now. You know, people grow up. We grow up. As you grow up, you get busier and busier and busier. But whenever we were still close, before life got to us, like real good, was a lot of notable things I can say about him is he never made me feel like I was too much. My whole life, I've been so scared of being too much, and that's why I've never really been able to open up about my feelings or be able to talk about my feelings, because I'm scared that I'm overreacting. I'm scared that people will call me over dramatic. I'm scared that I'm too sensitive, and I'm just needing to toughen up. Jax never made me feel like that. Jax was the only figure in my life who ever made me feel like I was not too much, and that I was just fine the way I was. Jax was the only person in my life, especially at that time, that was able to make me feel better and comforted without feeling like a burden. He was the only person in my life who was ever able to like allow me to talk about my feelings without feeling like I was a burden or without feeling like I was bothering him. A lot of you may actually know Jax. I'm not going to disclose. I'm not going to disclose like further stuff about Jax, but the name might sound familiar. And because I'm saying that he has a big impact, or he had a big impact on me, maybe you do know who I'm talking about. But it's a very common name, so sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. But my friendship with Jax was very pure. Another notable thing was he always left me paragraphs to wake up to in the morning, and I never had to ask for those things. I never had to ask him to care. I never had to ask him to listen. I never had to ask him to send me paragraphs of motivation and appreciation. He did it himself. He did it within his own free will, and he always remembered the little things about me, and he always saw me for my worth. And the thing about me and Jax is I barely saw his face. He barely saw mine. We knew what each other looked like, but we didn't see each other often, is my point. Because he didn't follow my socials. How do we meet? YouTube. Yeah. But that was that. And sorry, there's a lot of pauses in this. Sorry, guys. But long story short, I never had to ask for those things, and I was very lucky to receive the love I did from him. And I talk about him like he's dead. He's not dead. But I'm just saying, like, I'm very lucky to have received what I did receive from him and receive that type of love. And I met him when I was 12, I think. I'm 16 now, for reference, turning 17 in October. But yeah, it's been a long time. I was very lucky, like I said, very lucky. And because of how early on I met him, before I even like dated anybody, I went into the world thinking that love should be so easy to find. That love is like, everyone probably loves like that. And I had to learn the hard way. No, that love is rare. That is a once in a lifetime kind of like thing, in my opinion. I don't think I've ever met anyone else like that. Romantically, at least. I've never met anyone romantically who's made me feel the same way Jax did. And that's why Jax is such an important person in my life. So when I say, or whenever I hear Thinking of You by Katy Perry, and I hear the lyrics, when I'm with him, I'm thinking of you. I think of Jax. Every time I receive, or anytime someone says something weird to me, anytime someone is lustful towards me, I think of Jax. Because, actually, let me read exactly what I said to my friend Irving, because I was talking to my friend Irving about this, and I described it like in a really good way. Okay. Okay, so the kind of stuff I'm receiving right now is the lustful type of love, versus with Jax, it was all pure. He never saw me for my body, and he hardly even saw me, period. But long story short, that love was pure. There's a very big difference between the two that I just mentioned. So Katy Perry, Thinking of You, because when I'm receiving texts that are lustful, receiving anything that's lustful, I think back to the first ever type of love that I received that was pure, not lustful. It was from someone who truly cared about me and my well-being. So, when I'm with him, just know I'm thinking of you. That sounds really bad, but I hope y'all get my point. Thanks for listening to my rant, and yeah, love you so much.